Welcome back. All right, so news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Tuesday, August the 6th. Starting off with Islander news. Now, this is kind of funny because I did a video the other day on the New York Islanders, and somebody in the comments mentioned, well, you didn't talk about Martin and Clutterbuck. And the reason being simple. I assume Martin and Clutterbuck are going to go back. They'll be on the fourth line. And Lou Lamoriello was asked about Martin and Clutterbuck and said the door is still open to either of or both of them coming back. So we'll see what happens. Last year, they left the door open for Zach Parise to come back. Parise opted to go elsewhere. So we'll see what happens with Martin and Clutterbuck. But apparently the Islanders willing to bring them back. And by Islanders, I mean Lou Lamoriello. We'll see what happens there. But we will be talking about Lou again in this video. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think they should bring back Martin and Clutterbuck or go for players whose ages don't add up to 70? So Stan Bowman says that talks are progressing with Draisaitl. There's no imminent signing to talk about, but there's also nothing negative to report either. So it sounds like both sides are at least working on what the framework of a contract might look like, or at the very least, they're having good discussions. And that's the important thing, is to have those good discussions. The Oilers, of course, will look to get Draisaitl signed, I would think, before the season gets started, before training camp, ideally. And then it's just a matter of what the cap hit should look like. It's obvious that it would be an 8-year deal, but what would the cap hit be for Draisaitl? And how can you argue Draisaitl shouldn't get like near league max or like in the $13 million a season plus range? Because Draisaitl's been fantastic offensively and one of the most dynamic players in the league. So it is hard to argue down the cap hit that he is entitled to. The Ottawa Senators continue a trend today of this year's first-round draft picks being signed. Yakemchuk, the number 7 draft pick by the Ottawa Senators, signs his entry-level contract. I think the total is now 20 out of 32 of that first round that have been signed. So it means that he can come in and, try out training camp and they can get a look at him in the preseason. And it's unlikely he makes the Sens his first year, but you just never know. There's usually at least 1 or 2 surprises from any draft class that ends up making it onto the main roster. So maybe they got themselves a real one there, and maybe he at least impresses in the preseason and gives Sens fans some hope, because Sens fans need that right now. So the preseason, the NHL revealing the whole preseason schedule. It's going to run from September 21st to August the 5th. There are some neutral site games in North America to discuss. The Sens and Pens are going to play September 29th in Sudbury. Now, this is the hometown hockey game, and this was originally going to be in Elliott Lake, but Elliott Lake, their arena isn't large enough to house what they need for this game. Plus, it needs a lot of repairs, which is part of the reason why you win the hockey bill, because you need to repair your arena. So that'll be played in Sudbury. I'd better see some Blueberry Bulldogs jerseys in the crowd if I watch that game. Going to be disappointed if I don't. Utah will play the Blues on September 22nd in Des Moines, Iowa. The Flames and Canucks are going to play September 25th here in Abbotsford. The Bruins and the Kings, the Panthers and the Kings are both going to have, both of those games are going to be in Quebec City. Bruins and Kings on October 3rd and Panthers and Kings on October 5th. So Quebec gets a couple of preseason games. Sell out the building, show the NHL that they need their team back. The Panthers will be playing Tampa Bay September 25th in Orlando. I'm pretty sure that's an annual thing that they have that meetup in Orlando, but again, we'll see how that game goes. I think that's the case. But anyways, you guys can let me know your thoughts. The Ducks and the Kings are playing September 28th in Ontario, California, which I'm pretty sure we've seen that matchup before as well. So some of these third-party locations are, ECHL, AHL locations. The Avs in Utah will play October 5th in West Valley City at Maverick Center. So that should be a fun one. And the Blues and the Blackhawks will play October the 5th in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's hosted games before. Attendance has been pretty good for those, so no reason to think it won't be here as well. So let me know your thoughts. You going to go to preseason games? I'm not going to the one in Abbotsford. In general, the parking is an absolute nightmare, both getting in and getting out. And yeah, it's just, I don't enjoy going to that game. So I generally don't go. And with the Canucks ticket prices being where they are this year, I've given up on watching Vancouver. I still have season tickets for Abbotsford. I'll be able to go to a lot of Abbotsford games, I guess, because I won't be going to any of the Vancouver games. And of course, I'll talk to all you fine people on the internet after I do go and watch Abbotsford games, as I usually do. The Athletic held their annual vote on fan confidence in front offices around the National Hockey League. And it's always interesting because these numbers can change dramatically from one year to the next. And it seems to favor teams that are winning, of course. And it seems to punish teams that are seen as maybe stuck in their ways or not able to get over the hump. So the top five front offices in order in terms of confidence got from fans who voted in this Athletic poll. Florida's number one. They won the Stanley Cup, so it makes a lot of sense they'd be number one, and they've built a very good team. Dallas is number two. Tampa's number three. Utah at number four. I'm glad to see that the Arizona Coyotes management that has moved over to Utah is well respected by fans because I think they've done a very good job. Vancouver's number five. If you had told me, I don't know, 3 years ago that Vancouver's management would be top five in the league in 2024, I would have asked you which meds you had skipped that day and whether you should be out and around people in public. From 28 through 32, so the five lowest rated of the organizations in the National Hockey League. Columbus comes in at 28th, Pittsburgh at 29th, Toronto is 30th. I feel like that's a little bit rough on Toronto, but I get it, right? The LA Kings are 31st. My comment section would back that up. And the Islanders are 32nd. Lou Lamoriello is often panned by fans, sometimes by media, but somehow the Islanders are still able to cobble together enough wins to make it to the playoffs, and they've gone on runs as well in those playoffs with Lou Lamoriello at the helm. A conference final appearance, a semi-final appearance. I mean, that was a while ago, sure, but still, considering the fact that Islander management's always rated really lowly, they tend to overperform. I will go that far to say that they overperform. I think they usually have the right guy behind the bench, was Barry Trotz. Lane Lambert was okay, but now they got Patrick Roy, and I think Roy's going to get him some wins too. And so you have to give Lou Lamoriello some credit for hiring the right coaches. Anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're just browsing your way through and you happen upon this video or just because you feel like it. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.